Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Hot Mic here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by this esteemed gentleman here, the Sneider himself, Jeff Sneider. How are you, Jeff?
Hello, John. Hey, boy.
Well. Hello, everybody. Hello, Jeff. Quite a week. But we got a lot to get into here today. Certainly, there's a lot of Star Wars news. There's a lot of studio news, a lot of movie news, a lot of first reactions to things, some trailers that dropped, et cetera. And we're very happy that you all have joined us here today. Just a reminder, Streamlabs Super Chats are open throughout the show. I'm going to let you all know ahead of time. I'm not in the best fucking mood, so this will be a bit of a rough show for me. Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to be a jerk off or a dick in the chat, I'm absolutely just going to block you. There's no warnings.
Tell Daddy what
no
happened.
Warnings, nothing. No. It's just what I'm in the mood. You know, I've been strong the last couple of days. Today, it all hit me, and I'm not in the mood for jokes.
Trump?
Yes. Yes, that piece of absolute tanned dog crap is now our president for the next 4 years. I don't like it. It frustrates the hell out of me, and it's not about tears or any of that nonsense. It's about my fear and my worry for people that I know, communities that I know, friends that I have, what might be coming down the pike over these next 4 years. Hell, even some family members who might be deported down the road if they go forward with the denaturalization. So there's a lot going on for me emotionally. It didn't hit me last couple of days, but today, in the last few hours, it's really, really come down on me. So just letting you all know ahead of time. Let's have a good show. Don't be a jerk off. I will absolutely block you. So, all right, Jeff, let's get into the main news. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Streamlabs Super Chats are open. You see the address right above Jeff said. It's pinned in the chat as well. Send in your love. Send in your questions, thoughts, and comments. So as we talk about all of this stuff. But let's lead with the big one, and that is Star Wars. Let's talk about it. This dropped a couple of days ago. Mike Fleming over there at Deadline reported this. Boris Kit followed up with his report. And then you last night on your newsletter at theinsnider.com added your 2 cents about what's going on here. Essentially, a trilogy has been announced. Simon Kinberg is writing and producing it. Kathleen Kennedy has apparently latched herself onto this, so she's got job security for the next 12 years. And this is going to be coming out here. Going to be focusing on Rey mostly. Maybe she's the Obi-Wan of this new trilogy. Maybe it's not even a trilogy. That's a 10, 11, and 12. So, Jeff, your thoughts. What's going on here? What happened? Give me your 2 cents or 12 cents. Go ahead.
First of all, we love you, Johnny boy. Thank you. I get that things affect you, your community, other communities in a way they don't affect me.
Right. Yes.
Yes. To me, it's like we all got through the last 4 years with Trump. Nobody wound up in a cage. For the most part.
The immigrants did, but yes.
Anyways,
yeah.
Star Wars. You okay?
Yeah, what just happened?
I don't know.
All right, go on. Keep going. I'll put my name. There we go.
You're in and out. You're
weird.
Okay. Twinkle, twinkle, baby.
Twinkle, twinkle, baby. All right, sorry about that.
Star Wars, guys. Yeah. I mean, a surprise.
Oh, okay. So even you, the scooper, did not know this was happening? Were you surprised by it? Wow.
I had no idea.
That's a rarity. Okay.
And why Simon Kinberg of all people, who's already wrapped up in Star Trek? I don't understand. We're going to do this again, just like we did with J.J. Abrams in Star Trek and Star Wars last time.
Yeah.
I get that Simon Kinberg, from a probably professional screenwriting point of view, probably delivers things on time, well structured, things that he'll give you a good first draft, right?
Yeah.
The stuff that he's been doing lately has not worked.
Yeah.
Really. The stuff that he's been involved in producing, he's involved in so much that eventually, every now and then he's bound to have a hit. But
like Deadpool or Wolverine. Right.
I thought it was a curious hire, especially for a trilogy, maybe to do one movie or something, but we're giving you a whole trilogy.
Yeah.
Curious. So then you have Deadline presenting it as episodes 10 through 12. Okay. Right. Them saying in the story that insiders deny that it's episodes 10 through 12. Boris doing his own reporting saying it's not episodes 10 through 12. And then me hearing through my source, who, let's face it, has been pretty good.
Yes.
Them saying it is episodes 10 through 12.
Wow.
And to leave deadline. And then it's like, well, why aren't they admitting that it's episodes 10 through 12? That's the case. Well, because anything could happen with this, right?
Yeah.
This could not come to fruition just like 8,000 other fucking Star Wars projects.
Right.
But at the end of the day, and John and I spoke before I published my article because I needed context for it, and I appreciate the help, John. Mm-hmm. People go see the episodes, right? From a box office
trilogy. Yep.
You look, and those episodes perform way better than Solo did, or even Rogue One, right? And so it's like, let's get back to making episodes and movies that people feel like they absolutely have to see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, Rogue One made $1 billion, but certainly the last Star Wars film did not do so well. So you could argue, the box office returns, Rogue One did not, but it's an anomaly. You're right. It's the episodes that absolutely get people into the theaters.
Those made $1 billion, right? Each one, right?
Sequel ones, yeah, exactly. But the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, the sequel trilogy, those are the things that people look at, because even for the casual Star Wars fans, those are the ones they're watching. Maybe they're not watching the TV shows. Maybe they're not watching Rogue One or a Solo prequel, but they're going to watch the installments in the trilogies, right? And so that makes all the sense in the world. Go ahead.
So I think the point is, like, they don't want to come out and say that they're episodes,
right?
Because, let's wait and see like how this thing develops. But I think that is the goal, is to like, especially with all the projects that are in the works, none of those are episodes.
Yeah.
Like, we know that much.
Right.
So like the fact that Fleming's hearing that, and it's not just like, come on. So it was curious how adamant Boris was, but what I think that Boris is getting at, right? He's like, it's going to be a new story and new characters. Well, like, isn't that obvious? Like, do we think it's going to be the same story featuring the same characters? It's not going to be Oscar Isaac and John Boyega, but it does sound like Daisy Ridley is coming back, and that Daisy Ridley is going to be the Obi-Wan of this new franchise, whatever that means.
Yeah. And that stands to reason, doesn't it? Because Daisy, over the last few weeks, when she's been doing press for Magpie, when she initially was announced to come back, I watched her 2 spots, one on Horowitz months ago, and then the most recent one. And she says very clearly in the most recent one that she is very excited about the plans for Rey. So I don't think you say you're very excited about your character coming back for one movie. You say you're very excited that you're coming back for multiple movies, and that you're really going to be the female Obi-Wan of the new trilogy, and you're going to train these people. You're going to be seen as the veteran now instead of the rookie. So there's a lot here, and there's a lot more to explore. She's probably going to get more badass lightsaber fights. There's going to be new and interesting villains. There's going to be more fleshing out. Maybe she gets a romance. There's a lot to play with, and Daisy has certainly come along as an actress very strongly. So, and so I think this is a great situation, but yes, I agree with you. It stands to reason that she would be the Obi-Wan of this new trilogy. So what happens to her standalone film, though, Jeff? Does that get folded in?
Does it happen? This is the thing that I like. So I think a lot of people saw that trilogy news and they're like, oh, this means that the Rey movie is dead.
Yeah.
That may be true, right? But they did just hire a new writer. I don't know who that writer is.
Right.
They did just hire a new writer, and some people hit me up being like, could Kinberg be the new writer? No.
Oh.
These are separate things as far as I'm aware. Kinberg has his trilogy. Charmin's movie just hired a new writer.
Right.
And I wonder, is that the movie that sets her up as this Obi-Wan figure, so that in the trilogy, right? Then I don't know if she's, again, a Force ghost by this point, or if she dies in the first film, the trilogy. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Or if they just get rid of Charmin's movie, because everything that was going to be in that can now be incorporated into sort of episode 10.
Right. Yeah, we were discussing it last night. I had 2 thoughts on it. And I think I agree with Jeff that the Rey movie would be the launching pad for this new trilogy, kind of maybe even introduce the characters that will be the main characters in terms of the younger characters in the new trilogy, with her like being in charge of them and what have you and guiding them. That's certainly a possibility. I also thought maybe they could go the Marvel route where you had a Rey trilogy that was supplemental to the overall trilogy. But Marvel seems to be able to do that with like Iron Man and Thor and Captain America. I don't know if Star Wars has the breadth to do that quite in the same way, or the pattern of doing that quite in the same way. So, yeah, I like your idea first better, that it's a launching pad for them, man.
I just like, could it be a bridge between this trilogy and the new trilogy? Is
right.
That movie? That's the only way I see it sort of existing, unless it gets again absorbed into it. And then it's like, well, what becomes of Sean Levy's project, which is supposed to be an older Ray or whatever?
Right.
I mean, could that be the third film?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I have no idea, but it's like all these projects are technically the property of Lucasfilm. Like if Lucasfilm likes a little bit of what somebody's doing, but it's not a full movie, it's same with this one over here. And then they're like, well, what if we just had Simon, pluck the back? I have no clue what is going on.
Right.
But
I want to spend some time with this. So I want to keep asking you questions about this. What does your spidey sense tell you about Charmin Obaid-Chinoy? Because you know who hasn't been talking about this Star Wars movie since her initial comments over a year ago? Charmin Obaid-Chinoy. So does that tell you that she is not? I mean, I get it that she kind of stumbled out the gate, but everybody makes mistakes. But do you think that it's very clear that they're probably moving on from her as director of this film and where they might be going? What do you
reading
think?
Between the lines? Okay, here's what I'll say.
Okay.
Reading between the lines, it doesn't feel like that movie will happen.
At all. No matter who's directing it. You don't think the film will happen at all?
No.
Okay.
I think that there are a few movies that could still make the December 2026 date, right? Because Mando is on schedule for May 2026.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they have an untitled Star Wars movie, I think, in December 2026.
Right.
I think there's like 3 different movies that could possibly be.
Okay.
Right? The fact that it's not hers, despite how long it's been in the works, is worrisome, right? Because it's like, it seems like, honestly, Mangold's movie may have, I mean, he hasn't turned in a script yet.
Right.
Mangold. And nothing can happen until he has turned in a script.
Right.
But like that could leapfrog her movie and take that December 2026 slot. The other thing that I've heard is that Disney is not pressuring Lucasfilm to have a movie ready in December 2026.
Oh, wow.
They're like, if you don't have something by this time, it's okay. Because I think they're really planning for 5/25/27.
Ah, okay.
The 50th anniversary of Star Wars. And that is when I think you introduce Simon Kinberg's trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, if this is supposed to hit a December 2025, is that what you said, or December 2026?
There's an untitled Star Wars movie for December 2026, and you would think that would be the Rey movie, given that is like furthest along developmentally. You know. But
would you go follow right back up like 5-6 months later with the first installment of the trilogy when you've just dropped the Rey film on a December 2026? That would be, I think, more the Mangold film would probably come out in December 2026. I think I'm more in your camp that it feels like.
But if it is a bridge, right? If the Rey movie is a bridge, then why wouldn't the Rey movie come out December 2026 and then you start anew in May 2027?
That's very true. Very true. But do you think any of these other movies are now like finished? Do you think the Mangold movie is going to happen? Do you think the other movie is going to happen here in this 3 that were announced?
So what is it? Mangold's
and Filoni's, and there's Taika's is still considered to be in
development. Donald
development.
Glover was also mentioned in one of the trades articles. So it's like there's a bunch of things brewing. That's why my source said there are probably 3 different projects: Mangold, Rey, and maybe Filoni.
Okay.
Any of those could take that December 2026 slot if Lucasfilm presses forward.
Right.
Again, the other part of it, which everybody seems to be like just ignoring.
Go ahead.
I don't think Kathy again will be around atop Lucasfilm by the time even Mandalorian comes out.
But do you okay? And I think that makes sense. But do you think that she's going to pull an Amy Pascal?
Yes.
And that she's going to be the executive producer, but not be under Lucasfilm officially as an employee, but more as a hired outside gun. Is that what you like Pascal was for the Spider-Verse movies? And
what I sense right now, I get the idea, and maybe she just walks away entirely.
Yeah.
But it would just be so easy for her to be like, I'm now the producer on these movies.
Right. Do you think Fleming said that because, like, from his source, he hears that Kathleen is absolutely going to produce these films, or that there's no way those films would happen without Kathleen producing them because she's currently in charge of Lucasfilm right now?
I'm confused.
Like, did he add that in the story to say, like, well,
what did he add? What
Kathleen Kennedy would be producing this trilogy?
She always produces. She produces anyways. Like she produced Force Awakens.
Well, yeah. But that's what I'm getting at. Do you think, did he say that because that's just logical and she's going to be in charge of Lucasfilm? Or did he say that because she will be attached whether she's at Lucasfilm or not? Like, yes. That's a big part.
Yes, yes. Okay. Just like if Kevin Feige got caught doing something crazy and he got the boot from Marvel, like, I think he'd still be, I mean, unless they really needed his name off of, the movie, he'd still be a producer. Even if he just like stepped, he's like, I can't run Marvel and I can't be managing people. Like, I'm overwhelmed. But he'd still be a producer on movies. And I think that's what it is. It's like Kathy would still be a producer on Star Wars movies, yes.
Yeah, but active or like Victoria Alonso, where they have to put her name on there? That's my question is, do you think she will be an active producer on this trilogy, whether she's under Lucasfilm or not?
On this trilogy, yes, because she set it up and brought it in, yes.
Yeah.
But, not necessarily on everything going forward.
No, right. And but the reason I'm bringing this up too is because you have your sources.
Filmmakers will bring their own producers too. Like if Ryan Johnson's coming in, it'll be like Ron Bergman producing. Right. You know what I mean? Go on.
No, I was just saying because from what I've heard from my sources, I know you have your sources too, and maybe they'll contradict, is that it's Kathleen Kennedy who's really wanted a female-led Star Wars movie, and her with Rey coming in here, essentially in essence being one of the main leads. She gets what she wants and she produces it. So it makes sense that she would want to produce this trilogy, and it would focus on Rey being a massive part of the trilogy. And Rey, Daisy Ridley has said that it's Kathleen who pitched her, Kathleen who convinced her, Kathleen who showed her what was going on. So it makes sense as like a final hurrah from Kathleen Kennedy into Star Wars is to finally do something that she wanted to do, get the actress back, and then have a female-led Star Wars situation in the trilogy. So
I'll put it this way.
Yeah.
Again, looking at Bob Iger is leaving next year.
Yes.
What is Bob Iger's legacy? Right. It's the acquisitions that he made during his time at Disney.
Star Wars and Marvel.
Star Wars, Marvel. I don't think he bought Pixar. That was probably way earlier.
I think that was before him. Yeah.
But anyways, those are like the three fucking Tiffany brands at Disney, right? Yeah. I think all of them needed course correction.
Yeah.
Right. All three needed course correction.
Yeah.
And he's ensuring that. So Pixar has an Incredibles 3 in the works, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Toy Story 5 in the works. Those are like the most important things.
Yeah. The brands. Yeah.
So like Pixar's on its way. Marvel is, got 2 Avengers movies. They're paying Downey to come back. They've got Fantastic Four. They've got X-Men. It's time like for the Fox stuff to continue to pay off outside of Deadpool, right?
Yeah.
Iger did buy Pixar apparently.
Okay.
So he gets credit for all 3.
Oh, and Fox, right? Yeah, that's right. It's a good point. Yeah.
So like that's Marvel is now like set up for the future as he makes his way out the door. Now it's time to right the ship on Star Wars.
Right.
And I think that's the way I interpreted this whole like Kinberg thing. It was Iger being like, I don't care if he's like not the most popular choice or the hippest choice or the coolest choice. Like this guy is a fucking he's Simon Kinberg for a reason. Yeah. He's a proven screenwriter, and like he's gonna fucking get this shit together by the time I retire next year.
Do you think this is, Christian said this on the show yesterday, we were talking about it. Do you think this is a trial run? This is let's see what you do with this, and if you do really well with this and we like you, we'll give you the Kathleen Kennedy job?
Kinberg?
Yeah. Because I think the bloom is off the rose on Filoni, and I don't think they're going to go to Favreau, and they need someone to step in. And Kinberg
saves it,
huh?
I mean, you're not wrong. I could see it.
I'm only saying this because he's done it in multiple franchises, right? X-Men, Sherlock Holmes, Star Wars with Rebels. Like he has experience landing the plane in multiple franchises, so it would bring some stability back.
It depends what he wants to do, right? And I guess I was going to say, does he want to do this or does he do this? But fucking James Gunn he does both. It's like, does he want to run the studio? You know, does he want to be the Kevin Feige producer overseer and bring in different directors? Or we all know Kinberg harbors directing hopes, right? He did Dark Phoenix.
Ooh, right? Stop harboring.
Right, exactly. Like, you know, hey, I don't know what's wrong like with writers just saying, hey, I'm a great writer and I'm not necessarily a director. They're like two different sides of the brain. And I'm shocked how many writer-directors there are. But a lot of writers just aren't meant to be directors.
Yeah.
So it's really just about like, does he want to do this, or is it like, hey, I wrote this trilogy, now you have to let me direct one of these movies?
God,
that could be the leverage play for him rather than, hey, I want to run Lucasfilm now.
That makes no sense because they have such a great stable of directors from just the TV shows, and so to me, it's like I don't understand why you'd want to do. I mean, I get it, ego and the desire to do it, and what bigger play or toy box can you have than Star Wars to direct a film? But I mean, we saw Last Stand. Has he gotten better by not directing movies? It seems odd to consider that as a possibility, but I guess certainly ego in Hollywood is part of it. But so does this feel though? Let's pull it all the way back in a macro scope. Like they just announced 3 films just a little bit a while ago, right? Now you come out of left field with a trilogy like this and drop it right in the middle of everything. And everyone's like, now, and a lot of people, right? I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of people are like, what the fuck is going on here? We don't know what the plan is. We don't know what the direction is. And a lot of them want to go back to the old days where it was George. And then every few years it was a movie. Every few years, a movie. Like now it just feels like there's all this stuff and it becomes overwhelming and too much. And it seems like it's diluting the brand. Dropping it like this, does this make you feel like this is still, or this is reaffirm the feeling that Star Wars is a bit like all over the place and lost and scattered? Or does it feel like this is actually a plan?
I think it's all over the place, dude. That's just such a mess. But I also understand where it's like, well, okay, if this is the plan, we've got Mangold and we've got, Obey Chinoy and Filoni, like, when are we getting back to the episodes? When are we getting back to telling the story? Like this needs to be an ongoing story. Right. We can't just end it there. And that's why I think, there needs to be a link. Yeah. And Boris left himself an out too. Like Boris was real adamant about it being about new characters and new story. And it's like, again, obviously, duh. Right. But he left himself that out in the story that it doesn't mean that, some characters couldn't come back. Yeah, obviously they are. So It's not a completely new thing. There's going to be a tie to it. And I believe I'm told by my very reliable source that tie will be Daisy Ridley.
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes all the sense in the world. Again, that's why she would be talking about how excited she is about coming back. It's more than just coming back for one thing. It's a chance to right the ship, maybe in a way. Do you think her husband is the new writer coming out of Magpie and people's responses to Magpie? Do you think it could be him for the Ridley film, for the Ray film? No? You think?
I have no idea who it is.
Right.
The only thing that I'll say about the writer is that I expect them to be older.
Okay. All right. Fair point. Now, with Kinberg, maybe this is my last question because we spent 25 minutes on this. But and for those of you watching, thank you so much. We got 500 of you watching. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel down below, hit the bell button, leave us your thoughts, and of course, subscribe to Jeff's newsletter at theinsnider.com. But Jeff, do you think they brought in Kinberg because look, Kinberg just produced Deadpool and Wolverine? Who directed that movie? Sean Levy. Do you think that he has a track record with working with some strong directors throughout his time in Hollywood? And do you think maybe bringing him in is a way to maybe calm some directors down, or maybe some directors who weren't ready to jump into the Disney, the Star Wars fray are like reconsidering that possibility, or any writers or actors who might not want to dive in, see someone like Kinberg who has a track record of being solid in a lot of franchises, and they give it a second look? Do you think that was maybe part of hiring him? Or was it just that he came in with like this great story and it was undeniable and they had to give him a trilogy? Because remember, she gave Rian Johnson a trilogy. We haven't seen 1 second of that.
Again, there's two arguments to be made. Like, I can't call Kinberg a hack. Like, this guy's been around. He's been doing it since the 90s, right? Like, it'd be pretty insulting to just like write him off because he wrote like a bad movie. And God knows, like, that all these movies go through about 7,000 different hands, right?
That's true.
So, like, while he doesn't like escape the blame, like, it's also more complicated than his resume may suggest.
Yeah.
So, but the fact is, he's like a reliable hire.
Yeah.
I just like it again. I wish that Kathy had made a bolder hire, but I understand this one given what's at stake.
Have they worked together before? I don't know if they've worked.
I mean, it seems like impossible that they haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, he's been involved in other Star Wars stuff, right?
Right. Star Wars Rebels. But I mean, a lot of people behind the scenes said that he was only involved in the first season and minimally, and it was Filoni who really kind of took over after that and took and really kind of made it as good as it was. I
just think the idea has to be like, these movies have to be essential.
Yeah.
And the Rey movie, even if it ends up being real, like, it doesn't feel essential.
Yeah.
It feels like a bridge movie. It feels like filler, and you can't just throw out stuff like this and expect the audience to keep coming back. So I think that the sooner, again, in Hollywood, as I wrote last night, sooner is better than later. And they are, I think, are in a rush to get back to episodes and have that first episode out by May 25th, 2027.
Wow. All right. Anything more on this that you've heard? Anything more on this that you can speculate about? Anything more on this you can add to the story?
We've covered Star Wars enough. We've got a lot to cover.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, let's take a break and get on with it.
All right. Let's take a quick break. All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk some other stuff here right after this. All right. Jeff, what are we going to get into? Joker 2? Is that what you want? What do you want to talk about there? You mentioned that at the top of the show. What is it you want to talk about?
Gunn just came out, on Threads and denied what I said. Okay. First of all, it wasn't my scoop.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Devin Faraci and his podcast Marvel Vision did a whole bit about how it sounds like Barry Keoghan is going to be like a big part of the DCU going forward, or not the DCU, then Matt Reeves' Bat movies, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like he's going to maybe pop up in part 2 once again, and then be the main villain in part 3.
Right.
And Devin had said that there was going to be a TV series between 2 and 3.
Right.
That serves as a bridge, just like Penguin sort of does.
Yeah.
For 1 and 2 here. And I've heard the exact same thing from my sources. Okay. Like, so James, and it's like, if James Gunn is answering for Matt Reeves, right? Then the Batman must be being integrated into the DCU.
Oh,
right?
Interesting.
I don't understand how it works. And I wonder if Matt Reeves gets like furious about James Gunn answering rumors about his movie. The only way it makes sense to me is if I've said all along, Pattinson is, and that whole world is going to be, part of the DCU. It's going to link up and be tied in. I don't know what they're planning.
Well, let's take a look at it, because this is what he posted. Right. Turn on Threads, and everyone is asking me about this. No, there's absolutely no truth to this. A Joker series is not being discussed, nor has even come up at this time. Sorry, don't attack multiverse.nation. They're just one of many, many places reporting this. P.S. Hi, new Threads people. Oh, how cute. So interesting. So, Yes.
Again, it's like I'm not. I heard the same thing that Devin did. Okay?
Yeah.
It's Devin's scoop, and things just get attached to me because of whatever. James Gunn can deny whatever he wants. I don't know what you want me to say here. Like,
do you believe James Gunn or do you not believe? Do you think James Gunn is saying?
I don't believe any of these people on anything. I always believe my sources.
Yeah.
And I think that there's no reason to even cast Barry in that role if you didn't have bit larger plans for him. Now, granted, could there not be a whole series? Let me bring it back to something that you once said.
Okay.
You once said that you heard that there was a Catwoman series in the works. Right?
Yes, a long time ago.
Okay, a long time ago. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Devin left himself an out, right, by saying it may not be a Joker series.
Right.
It could be another series, right, about the villains. And what if these are one and the same? Right? What if the Joker series and the Catwoman series, like why would she not get her own series? Why is it Penguin and Joker but not Catwoman? Right? She was a huge part of the Batman.
Sure.
And sort of got short shrift. So and she just makes sense as like the lead of an HBO series. So I think that there obviously is some sort of TV series being planned between 2 and 3.
Right.
If 3 even fucking happens.
Batman 3?
Yes.
Yeah, so
because I still think that they may say, listen, I know we said we were going to give you a trilogy, but now that I've come in, you're getting 2 movies and then we're taking Pattinson from you.
And this is what I want to get to. And let's dive into this though. Let's chew this a little bit more. What you just said here a couple of minutes ago, that this idea that James Gunn can answer for Matt Reeves. Now listen, it makes sense because James Gunn is supposed to be the Kevin Feige of DC, so he would know what he's approved and what he's not approved.
Better than me.
Right. But however, I mean, you're right on this. I mean, it's Matt Reeves' little fiefdom in James Gunn's kingdom. That's basically what he's built out, especially because Penguin and the Batman have been very, very well received. We've already seen that the GCPD and the Arkham series have evolved or are evolving or changing or whatever. So who knows where that's going. And now you have these people clamoring for more. And a Joker series, Barry Keoghan, makes all the sense of the world because now Barry Keoghan is becoming a very big name that people know. I think Zoe Kravitz less so, no offense. So it would make sense to go with a Joker series that leads into 3, as you said, just like Penguin is leading into 2.
Would it demystify him too much, though? Right?
Demystify the Joker too much?
Right. Like, that's the whole point is like some of the mystery of the character, and it couldn't sustain its own 8-episode series. So maybe that's why maybe he's not the focus of it, and that's what I'm getting at with some of the way that some of these things get worded and spit back, and it's just like, dude, what do you want me to say?
So in a technical way, James could be right. There's no Joker-led series that they're doing, but Joker could be in the series that they're doing. So it's his way of parsing it out, maybe.
Well, you know what, man? If you're not thinking of developing a fucking series with Barry Keoghan, as a link between 2 and 3, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing over there? I don't know.
No, I mean, I like the idea. It could possibly demystify, but you could go. I know, Jeff. I don't know. You don't read a lot of the comics, but like, I know there's a great run from Brian Azzarello where it's the Joker run. It's the Joker comic.
I read
that one. Good.
It was great. Great.
Yeah, you're going through a henchman's point of view, a night with the Joker, right? So it could be a series where we meet a guy like Victor in the Penguin series, meet a guy who gets exposed to the Joker, what his life is like working for the Joker. So it becomes that, and then Catwoman gets involved. Maybe there's Two-Face or Mr. Freeze, depending on what they show us in the Batman Part 2. And so that could be an interesting thing where it's more a matter of it's a regular guy and we're involved in his life, but his life involves also working with the Joker and Catwoman and all these people in Gotham. That could be a fascinating series if they got it right.
8 hours is a lot. I got to give it up to the show I'm watching, The Sticky. Have you seen an ad for this? Have you heard of this?
What is The Sticky? I know I haven't heard of this in a while.
Comes out in a few weeks on Prime Video. It's a Canadian crime show with Margot Martindale. Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be. Oh,
right. That's a series, not a movie. I saw the trailer the other day.
Okay, so I turn it on,
Yes.
You should have seen my face light up when the first episode is 25 minutes. We got to get back to doing shows that aren't like this The Office or something like that,
Right.
but just like a cool crime cape like Fargo in a half an hour.
Yeah.
I think this would be great for that. Joker, like a 4-episode or 6-episode show. It's like 3 hours in total. Even if it's 8 episodes, a half-hour episode, 4 hours total max.
Yeah.
You don't need an 8-hour show about the Joker, but he could sustain something.
Yeah, it could be interesting for sure. Oh, okay. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one. But yes, James Gunn, I agree with you. I'm in the same boat with you. They say all that stuff, and then you've seen James already change his mind about certain things that he announced, about certain ways that he was going to do stuff. So it's not surprising that he would change his mind in this situation for sure. So, all right, where do you want to go next, man? What do you feel like talking about?
Euphoria.
Euphoria? Okay, go ahead, take it. What do you got for Euphoria?
So let's back up.
Yeah, paint a picture. Try not to use your penis.
Today, Zendaya.
Yes.
And Anne Hathaway.
Oh boy.
Christopher Nolan's muse.
Yes.
Join Nolan's new movie.
He can't be his muse if she wasn't even in Oppenheimer. What are you talking about?
She's in Interstellar. She's in Dark Knight Rises, dude. He had the opportunity to cast Catwoman, and he went Anne Hathaway.
And she was great as Catwoman. Yeah.
She looked amazing.
Wow.
I think she's gorgeous. So anyways, I love Anne Hathaway, and I'm thrilled that she has joined the cast of Chris Nolan's new movie with Matt Damon and Tom Holland. It seems like they're going to be playing, they're kind of perfect love interests for everybody. Not that that's necessarily the case, but like if Anne Hathaway was Matt Damon's wife and Zendaya was Tom Holland's girlfriend, like, that kind of works out nice. But anyway, it doesn't have to be like that. Zendaya could be a badass helicopter pilot, even though the story went out of its way to be like, everything that you've read about this movie is wrong. Right? Nolan's getting out there. He's like, dude, my movie's not about a fucking helicopter, so shut up.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got Zendaya shooting this movie in early 2025.
Mm-hmm.
HBO at the same time said a while back that Euphoria was going to shoot from January through June.
Right. That's right. Yes.
Okay. This is impossible.
Okay.
Okay. Like, how does that work? One source had a theory about it, but
okay.
So today I've heard from multiple people, different areas of the business, who've said Euphoria is dead.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Too much time has passed. Sam has not been able to get the scripts to a place where anyone is happy. HBO is fed up with him. The talent has moved on. Like, Zendaya wasn't going to fucking wait around and not work with Chris Nolan and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because of the show that maybe might go. Who knows?
Right.
So I don't know. Like, I reached out to HBO and they basically said this show's going in 2025. Okay, when? Right? Because I mean, she also has to shoot Spider-Man 4.
Yes.
Elordi is also spending early 2025 shooting Wuthering Heights.
Okay.
Right, which I think is going to be Warner Brothers' big awards movie next year.
Okay.
I think that Emerald Fennell is going to have that out within the year, basically. It'll be that and maybe the Cruise movie from Alejandro.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
But like, I just like Zendaya can't be in like 2 places at once, and there's also the question of Dune 3. Like, when is that going to go? So I don't know when this movie goes or when the show goes this year, unless this is the source's theory. It's only 4 to 6 episodes. And each episode follows a different character, and that makes shooting a lot easier because then Zendaya's like the length that an hour-long shoot takes. Maybe she weaves in and out of the others, so it's the equivalent of 2 or 3 hours, but like it's not a 10-hour sort of commitment. You know what I mean? Yeah,
100%. I'm with you. I think it's dead. I think HBO is just saying that because you're a trade person, or they're telling their sources that it's still happening or whatever. But I think it's dead because, as you said, I don't think it has to do with the writing or the direction. Once your stars become too big, and all three of them have become theatrical stars, bringing them back. Need I show you Donald Glover in Community? Bringing them back to come back and do a season or come back and do whatever. That's not easy to do. All right. I know that the lines have blurred between movies and TV over the last few years since Damages with Glenn Close, but there is still that perception that TV is TV and movies are movies, and you want to succeed in movies. And TV is seen as the place you go to maybe burnish a resume, or you go, if you can't get into bigger movies, you go back to TV. Now, but it's also a place where you establish yourself so you can leapfrog the movies. All three of them have done that. So to me, it doesn't make sense at all to bring them back. It's been too long. They're all older and bigger. It'd be a completely different story you'd have to tell. And the time commitment would be too much. So yeah, it makes sense to me that it's not happening more than we're going to shoot around them and shoot separate stories and episodes and whatever. And I think the Euphoria people would actually be happy with that, because there's a thing about leaving them wanting more that makes the series grow in estimation, you know?
I think you could come back years from now and do like a, years later kind of thing.
Okay, that's fine.
Maybe they want to do the college years. I don't know. It's tough to say goodbye to the show given how popular it was and the fact that they have this talent, right? Yeah. I don't know if they can invoke some clause where it's like, hey, we have you in first position.
Ooh. Oh, from the contract.
Right. They're just like,
yeah.
We want you back, you come back. Like, this is the job that you have to work everything else around.
Right.
So it's like, if they've already worked all that shit out, it's tough to just throw that all away. But at the same time, you can't just keep the talent, on hold indefinitely. Like, these people need to work, and they're the most popular actors in town.
And they're almost 30 years old. What college are we talking about here, man? I mean, like, both of them, by the time you get around to this, they'll be they're 27, 28, something like that. Maybe 29. I can't remember what Zendaya. She's older than both Elordi and Sweeney. So what college years are, I mean, I don't know. It just would be odd.
Elordi is like, rumored for that American Psycho movie, which is probably going to get underway at the end of next year or early 2026, which is also around the same time I imagine Dune 3 will go. So it's just like, when does this happen? Like, just tell me what the dates are. Unless it's like the middle of next year. Yeah. And the shoot gets condensed. Again, that depends on episode order. Like, I just something is up, and we're going to find out soon what it is. But multiple sources reach out today to say doesn't look like it's happening.
It's done. Yeah. All right. Anything more on this? You want to keep talking about this or move on to something else?
No, we can move on. I'm sure we'll have other people have other questions.
Let's move on to your report on Daisy Edgar Jones. Talk about this. You broke this on your newsletter last night, I think, or 2 nights ago. I think it was last night. That Daisy Edgar Jones, no, it was 2 nights ago, sorry about it, is being lined up for the titular role in the Prince Charming film with Chris Hemsworth.
Not the title role. I mean, that would be Chris Hemsworth.
Right. In the sorry, not titular. So in a role. Yes,
I've heard she's being eyed for the female lead. Okay. Now, is that going to ultimately happen? I don't know.
The film or her casting?
Her casting. Okay. I just know that I think that she was the front runner for sure. Like, that is who they were looking at dates for and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that she makes sense on paper, just like I wrote why Chris Hemsworth makes sense on paper. She hasn't signed on to anything else since Twisters. That's odd.
Yeah.
I'm told that she did sign on to work with some cool filmmaker. But it hasn't, I don't know what it is, and that hasn't gone public yet. Right.
Well, she's about to be on stage as well, right? She's doing,
is she?
Yeah. She's on the West End. She's going to be on Cat on a Hot Tin Roof at London's Almeida Theatre.
With Paul, or is that with Paul Mescal? Or?
Yeah, co-starring with Paul, yeah.
Is it?
The rumblings come after the news was announced on September 20th that Edgar Jones will be following in her normal Paul Mescal's shoes and is set to star in a new West End adaptation of Cat. So Paul won't be in it.
Streetcar. He's
got in Streetcar, right. She's going to be doing Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Yes. The Elizabeth Taylor role, even though... Oh, well. does she have the age to play that? I don't. It's a weird. Anyway, whatever.
Anyways,
Yeah. Anyway, okay. That's my theater brain nerd.
If you go do theater, you do it because you got a nice payday lined up, down the line. And the truth is, I mean, Disney is high on this project. They think that they have a really good concept here that's like Barbie-esque to some degree.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have Paul King directing. Like, that's considered a real get.
Right.
Wonka, Paddington, like, he's very creative. He makes hits, and that's what they think that they have here. So
when is it going to start shooting? Do you know, Jeff? Because I mean,
that I don't know. That I don't know.
She's in this play until February 1st, according to Yahoo Entertainment here. So
yeah, people drop out of plays all the time, right? She's gonna be,
not Alec Baldwin
leaving the run early.
Not Alec Baldwin. He refused to do the next Jack Ryan movie, so he could be in Streetcar Named Desire. So yeah, interesting situation. I like the choice though. I like Daisy. Daisy's such a damn good actress, so it's nice to see her getting bigger and bigger roles. I didn't like Twisters, but I thought she was good in Twisters. I liked her in Under the Banner of Heaven. That was an awesome series with her and Andrew Garfield. And so, the fact that she's going to get a chance to do this, I think is fun because it gets more brand name recognition on her. And if it's a good movie and people go see it, it'll be good for her. Let's see what else you want to talk about. Well, you sent me Prince. What do you have on Prince? What's the deal with Prince? Or was that you saying Prince Charming?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I just want to make sure. All right, you sent me something called Ridley, Mescal, Dog Stars, and Bee Gees. So let's talk about that in order. What is the Ridley Scott and Paul Mescal? They're reuniting for a new film, right? Is that what it is?
Yes, they're reuniting for this new movie, the Dog Stars, right?
Okay.
And so it's like, oh, okay. Well, what happened to the Bee Gees movie? It's always something new with Ridley. Like 3 months ago, is the Bee Gees movie being fast tracked to be Ridley's next movie, and then something else will pop up and. I mean, they literally said in this, he's supposed to start filming the Bee Gees movie at the end of next year. So he's going to film an entire new movie. He's going to campaign for Oscars until March, film a movie with Paul Mescal, and then film another movie by the end of next year. Like, what? Guy's like 90 years old. Like, what?
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Yeah, the Bee Gees film will likely follow for Scott in the fall of 2025. So
he's the man. Don't get me wrong. Like Ridley Scott is like one of the best interviews in Hollywood these days. But I did just see Gladiator 2 last night. What'd you think?
I thought it was fine. A perfectly good film, fun action film. If you're going to have a good time in a Roman film, then go knock yourselves out. This is great. Paul Mescal is a beast on screen, which was so interesting to see because I know him as a much more wiry actor. And Denzel was Denzel. I mean, he was so anachronistic in that film. It's kind of astounding to watch, but I loved it. But overall, it doesn't have the magic of the first movie. It doesn't feel like a Best Picture nominee. The characters aren't that strong, and there's a lot of holes in the story. And Pedro Pascal at times fits, and then other times doesn't fit at all. And some of the twists and turns you see coming like 20 minutes before they happen. So, but the action sequences are great. And if you're going for that and what Paul Mescal does on the screen, you're going to have a great time with the film. It's just not, to me, it's not in the realm of the first Gladiator film at all. What did you think?
Yeah, I felt like that.
Yeah.
It was not in the same ballpark. It was like Ann Thompson said, like something of a pale imitation.
Yeah.
And I didn't love him.
Oh, you didn't love Paul? Really?
No.
Shocking.
I did think Denzel was great.
I know, right? He makes no sense acting that way in the movie. Like it literally strutting like a peacock, like like it was almost American Gangster in a way. And you're just like, wait, what's going on here? But
yeah, it was fun. But the script, it just didn't have the same emotion. And
no.
Yeah.
Here's what was
not going to win him the Oscar that he thinks it is.
Oh yeah, no. I don't think he's getting nominated for anything. It may be score for Gregson Williams, maybe.
The costumes were gorgeous.
Oh well, fair. That might get a nomination for sure. The issues to me, the difference is that in the first Gladiator film, there are these really moving, poignant exchanges between the characters where you get to know them, get to know their motivations, really dive into the relationships between Aurelius and Maximus, and then between Joaquin Phoenix and his sister, and then those two with Maximus, and then Maximus with Jomon Hansu and other people. Like, they tried to imitate the Jomon Hansu thing with the older Indian actor, but it didn't quite have the same magic. And when you sense the same beats, you're like, wait a minute. So yeah, it is a little bit of that. But visually, it's fucking stunning and it's a fun ride. It's just not, don't expect it to be Gladiator. That's basically it. Yeah.
More on Monday when we can do formal reviews. But we saw everyone do the early birds get to crow about it. To Russell Crowe about it.
As you said, when we were talking about first reactions, you're like, of course they get certain people who are going to say certain things.
Yeah. Right. How dare they invite someone who would come out with a muted response? Who would say, yeah, this movie was okay, but like, this is not a threat to win Best Picture or Best Director or anything like that. How dare that be the response?
Yeah. It's frustrating for me because a couple of these people are my friends, Jeff, and it's really hard for me to see them like go, Ridley is back. Movies are back. And I'm like, what?
I mean, don't even get me started. You're going to get me worked up. My blood pressure is low right now. You're going to give me a conniption fit. It's wild.
I mean, I went into the movie like, okay, these are people I know and respect. They said really positive things. And I'm sitting in the movie theater, I'm going, when is this happening? When is this? That is such an obvious CG baboon. It's ridiculous. When is this happening?
Reading the Nosferatu stuff last night, right? Like, I'm sure, I bet that movie is fucking great. Like,
yeah, I think so too.
I think it's gonna be great. So I'm not calling any of these people liars, but like the hyperbole coming out of the screening, right? It's just like, can you just talk like a normal human being? Everything's like, it's the depths of evil, like you wouldn't believe. It shows us a mirror to evil. It's like, shut the fuck up. You have to talk like a film critic, like at all times. Just, did you like this movie? Was it good? Should I see it? Otherwise, go away.
Oh my God.
The depths of evils, the depravity.
Oh man, that's so good. If you're not afraid of rats before seeing the movie, you will be now. Goes harder than any other horror film this year.
Dude, the Substance goes pretty fucking hard. So I don't know what horror movies you've seen. Did you see the coffee table? The one where the kid's head rolls under the coffee table and it sits there for 90 minutes? The baby's head. You know what I'm talking about. Does it go harder than that movie? Like, do people even know what the fuck they're talking about anymore?
Stop it. Stop your blood pressure. I mean, at least Jermaine Lucier said that the film is not my favorite, Eggers, but still said it was a knockout. There you go.
That's because most people are like, dude, The Lighthouse is amazing. It's like, what? Who would ever watch The Lighthouse a second time? You'd have to be
listen, I don't disagree with you. I liked it the first time.
I really hate your life.
I would never put it back on again.
The fucking Lighthouse again. Holy shit. The Northman is easily his best movie. People are like not even close.
That's a movie.
So like I can't wait for Nosferatu. Like if it's come on.
Yeah.
So I don't put stock in other people's opinions about these artists. Love Jermaine though. Good guy.
Yeah, agreed. Terrifier 3 went pretty hard from what I understand from people.
This goes so fucking hard. He bites in the necks.
Hilarious. What about these Red One first reactions, Jeff?
Watch the guy freeze Santa Claus and beat him with a hammer. What are we talking about here?
Red One goes harder than any Christmas film I've ever seen.
Fucking hard. Come on, go fucking hard.
Oh man, where do we go with Red One, man? I mean, these were pretty terrible reviews. Man.
That's great. That's all I know.
What's that?
All I read about it. Tested great.
Yeah, what happens here if the film comes out and is an absolute bomb? Like what? This is yet another bomb for The Rock and Chris Evans, man.
Dude, Chris Evans, Jesus Christ, he should just go independent. Why is he? Why is he even giving 10% away to agents who put him in this direct?
I said this on Monday on Christian. I said he's got to fire his team. Unless it's Chris going, no, I got to do these movies. These movies speak to me. I got to take it. Or is he not being offered?
Dwayne, it was an opportunity to work with Dwayne. He's one of my heroes.
I mean, didn't he say he wanted to stop doing Marvel movies because he wanted to do more serious fare? He wanted to explore.
I was a little kid. I wanted to go to the North Pole, and now I'm there, and there's polar bears fighting me. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. It's kind of Chris Evans. This is more like a Chris Walken, but
like J.K. Simmons, he's not touched by any of this, but it's The Rock and Evans that comes out of this, and you're just like, why? And the fact that it was $200 and something million, and what is that? If this is the product on screen and people are going to tear it apart, I think Matt Neglia said it was visually repugnant or something like that. And that's a strong statement. So I don't know, man. I don't see the logic here, man.
Next time that happens, I hope Chris Evans pulls up outside the line of film critics who are waiting in line for a free screening of Gladiator 2 out in the cold outside of the Grove, and he pulls out $1,000 and then lights it on fire, and he laughs at all of us.
Oh yeah. I mean, Chris has got more money than he knows what to do with, for sure. So.
Yeah, I mean that's what they come out of Red One with. Ooh. They come out of Red One spilling like $10 million.
Exactly, probably more.
20 in Dwayne's case.
If it's $220 million, who knows how much they got on this? Boba Fahid asks, most talented Chris, Evans versus Hemsworth versus Pratt versus Pine.
Depends what we're talking about.
Talented, so that would imply the best actor. I think it means the best actor.
The most capable dramatic actor.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, sure. Or more versatile. How about that? The most versatile.
The most versatile. That's a different thing. All of who's the best at comedy? Who's the best at?
I think Pine is my answer. I think he can slide into any genre and do good work. I don't know if that's true about the other three.
I think the answer is Pine as well, but only because I saw him on stage, right? And I see that what a great actor he can be. Yeah. If I look at the screen stuff, I don't know what that guy's doing. I don't know what that fucking guy is doing.
You could argue that all four of them are in a bit of
in terms of like comedy, like you could say Pratt because of Parks and Rec, but like Hemsworth is good at comedy.
Yeah, he's good at big screen comedy. I don't know that I've seen Pratt good at big screen comedy other than Garden.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like technically, when I think of comedy and Pratt, it's Parks and Rec.
Yes,
but Hemsworth has the lead in terms of movie comedy.
Yeah.
So it's just different things. Who do you want to see get the girl? I think it's Pratt or Hemsworth. It's not Evans or Pine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, I just wanted to throw that out there as we were talking about it. All right. Well, okay. Let's do one more story. Okay. What about this Mickey 17 thing? The film was moved, Jeff? Does this mean that they have a little more faith in this? They moved it to April. It's out of the January dumpster fire month. So do you think this means they have a little more faith in it? Did they like the reaction people had to the trailer? Have they done some screenings? What do you think about this movie?
I think there had to be pressure to move out of that January date from Bong and Pattinson. It's like that's just kiss of death, right? Yes. For that movie. That movie.
Right.
I think that was just a bad sign. So, yeah, this combats that a little bit. But I also think that this presents a unique opportunity.
Right. Okay. Oh, interesting. What does that mean?
For what movie? What movie suddenly has IMAX screens?
I don't know. Gladiator 2? I don't know. What movie?
Companion.
Oh.
Warner Brothers moved Companion
right
to the release date that Mickey 17 had.
Okay.
Right, Mickey 17 was going to be on IMAX screens at the end of January, so now Companion is getting those IMAX screens, and I feel like that's what it is. It's like we are actually really, after the responses to the Companion teaser, we were pretty jazzed about that. How do we get that on IMAX screens? Well, we could take the ones that we had for Mickey 17,
So like this helps their first quarter to have possibly a better film that could get a better box office than Mickey 17.
It's true. You're always trying to sort of push bombs, technically.
Yeah.
Delay.
Interesting.
If you have another big hit, in that quarter, to hide Mickey 17 or something. I don't know. I haven't taken a good look at the WB calendar, but
okay. What about the Michael Jackson biopic? That also got moved. What do you, I mean,
That's a sign of confidence.
really? Okay. Because, I mean, they were saying, yeah, it's delayed to spring of 2025.
I'll put it this way. It's a sign of confidence, and it's also like we want to market this movie on the summer movies.
Okay.
Right? Like, what are we supposed to, if that movie opens in April, what are we supposed to market it on? There's only one opportunity, right? What is that?
In April? Shit, I don't know.
Opening in April, right? And it's like we need to make a splash before April.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Lionsgate, you may not want to spend Super Bowl prices on one ad for Michael Jackson. And that may not be the time to do it either.
Right.
So I think doing it on like advertising that movie, not having to spend the Super Bowl money, doing it on summer blockbusters in advance of an October opening, better positioning for awards, giving Fuqua more time to edit.
Yeah.
All that seems to make sense.
So October 3rd, 2025 is when the Michael Jackson film now will be coming out. It was going to come out in spring. So I misspoke there earlier.
It took, Mickey 17 took its date. And again, that's an opportunity. So
yeah.
Lionsgate makes its decision. Hey, we're moving Michael to the fall. This is open now. Why wouldn't Bong, and Pattinson be like, dude, we got to fucking take that date?
Do you believe what they said though? Like Lionsgate about this film saying that it could be a multi-billion-dollar film. Does that imply 3 billion or does that imply 2?
It means 2, but
okay.
And I don't know that it's going to be 2, but I do think it could be a $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
I think it could be absolutely huge. It's got to be good. And it's got to be the kind of performance where you're like, dude, you got to see this. It's like Michael Jackson is fucking alive again.
Yeah.
His nephew is like that good.
He is that good. All right. What else have we got on the? Well, let's take a break and then we'll hit maybe a couple more stories and get these questions knocked out. Is that good with you?
Dude, take a break.
All right, we're gonna take a break, y'all. Bye. That's right. Blow my nose. You can hear it. All right. We're back, Jeff. Let's talk about what else do we talk about here? Oh, yeah. Do you think this is all Ryan Reynolds? Like, just is he trying to manifest this damn Gambit movie? Came out on a podcast this week and said that Marvel is obsessed. The accountants are obsessed with Channing Tatum playing Gambit. Like, why is he banging this drum so hard, man? Why does he want this to happen, for God's sakes? Other than obviously he's friends with Channing. What is this? Money? Oh, right. He's going to get a piece. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, make a fucking Gambit movie. He's getting the fucking producer credit. Yeah.
So he's pushing that so he can make some money off of it. All right, because I think it's ridiculous. No one is clamoring.
Doesn't have enough money.
All right. Yeah, but no one's clamoring for a Channing Tatum Gambit movie. Get out of here.
I think everybody liked Channing Tatum in that movie. There was good response to it, but yeah, not everything needs a fucking.
Yeah, there was a good response to it because you had 5 minutes with it. That's it. You didn't have a whole movie with it, which would have been ridiculous.
But a show could be fun. If
I think
a Gambit show.
Down 100%. I like that idea. Actually, that could be a lot of fun. You can mess around with time, who's in what, and how they're showing up, whatever. All right, Heretic is out this week. Did you see Heretic? Is it this weekend or next weekend? Is it next weekend?
This weekend.
Okay. Thoughts?
Did you see it?
I have not. No, I had to skip out on my
stream. Are you going to see it?
Yes. Of course I'm going to see it. That one looks good. I like Hugh.
Thought you were a God-fearing individual.
I do. I like films that challenge my religion. Here's the thing with me. I love to have my opinions challenged. I live for it. I love to go to movies who make me question things because it's fun. You got to test your opinions and your beliefs. If you don't, how do you know they're right? You got to test them in your mind. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I believe that this movie was not very good.
Not very good. Oh.
It kills me to say it because I love Beck and Woods. Those are good guys.
Yeah.
Rooting for them, and I love the trailer for this. But this movie has a fantastic premise, just like a great setup, great casting with the 3 leads, but I did not like where it went. I do not care for the second half of this movie. Didn't work for me.
Wow. Okay. All right. All right, I haven't seen it, so I'm looking forward to it. Though I want to see it this weekend. I got to see Honora as well. Is there anything else that's coming out that you want to see, or that you haven't seen yet?
That I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see September 5. Like that's.
Oh yeah,
that's
okay.
kind of like really anxious to see.
Okay,
so that looks great. I am curious about The Fire Inside.
Okay, yeah.
I think Roxy's seeing Los Freakies today. I'm jealous.
Oh, nice. Damn it.
I do want to see Los Freakies. I'm actually curious about Kyle Mooney's Y2K.
Oh yeah.
That could be interesting.
Should I interview him? They offered me Kyle Mooney this morning. Do you think it'd be fun to interview Kyle?
Yeah, dude.
Ask him about the Leslie Jones relationship, which is one of the favorite parts of SNL.
You know, I knew Kyle before he was famous.
You and I. We're not going to have this fight again. We're not going to have this fight again. The thing is, the people you think are famous are absolutely fucking hilarious to me.
Kyle Mooney was on SNL for like 7 years. You don't think
Kyle Mooney could walk down the street, nobody would know him. Beck Bennett could walk down the street, nobody would know him. The madness of you is astounding.
You're insane. He was on SNL for 7 years, at least.
So was Denitra Vance, and you couldn't pick her out of a lineup if you tried. For God's sakes, being on SNL doesn't mean anything. Not always. Are you going to see Absolution? Are you going to see Memoir of a Snail?
That was really good. I did hear that was good.
Memoir of a Snail? Okay. How about Best Christmas Pageant Ever? Is that a Jeff one? No.
Actually, no, but it looked cute. I'll give that movie its due. Where's that Jack Black Dear Santa movie?
Exactly.
Who the fuck is Kyle Mooney?
I know Kyle Mooney. I like Kyle Mooney. I think Kyle Mooney is funny.
He's in a zillion things. In Zoolander too. Come on.
No, that's fine. Yeah, it looked interesting. I mean, this felt like a little old school Jack Black, but maybe not the highest quality Jack Black. So, yeah, it's a fascinating choice to do that film, and it's got no buzz. And Christmas is literally a month away, so that seems odd to me.
You told me I got to see The Outrun.
Yeah, did you see it or no?
Yes, King Sport Cal. Like Kyle Mooney is the one that gives me the cred. Knowing Kyle, no, I haven't seen The Outrun yet.
All right, yeah, you got to see The Outrun. I know that one's a good one as well. All right, have you seen anything like TV wise?
Chat, Susan. Jesus Christ!
I know Susan's got to slow down. Susan's getting out of control. I'm about to block Susan. Susan, you got to slow down. I'm going to block you if you get too dirty. Come on now.
There are children watching.
Brigsby Bear. Yes, a lot of people like Brigsby Bear. I know that seems to be a fun movie. I didn't see that one, but a lot of people liked it. So yeah, the Kyle Mooney stuff. Is there anything you saw this week though, TV wise, besides the Stinky or whatever it was called? What else?
The Sticky, you mean? Stinky, Jesus Christ! That would be a good show. I maintain, by the way, that there needs to be an animated movie called Boogers.
Oh my God!
I can see the poster now, and plush toys. I have the whole thing. What else did I see this weekend? I watched a zillion things. I watched like the Jerry Springer docuseries.
Oh, is that out yet, or did you watch it because you had a screener? Okay.
Screener. I watched the John Bonet screener docuseries.
Nice.
I was watching a lot of.
I gotta shake the tree a little bit on
Aaron Hernandez. I watched him get arrested this week.
Which one?
Aaron Hernandez.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that show is good. I tweeted out about last week's episode, and the director of the episode responded back to my tweet. So that was really nice because I like
Johnny Boy.
It was very nice of them.
Cheyenne, you know, the actress who plays Cheyenne is pretty good.
Is pretty good. Yes, I agree with you 100%.
Oh, John, you like her, Johnny?
I think she's gorgeous. I think she's beautiful.
Johnny likes her.
But I tell you, Josh is, like you said, just to reaffirm that, like what you said earlier about Scarface a couple weeks ago, man, like this kid gets stronger every episode as they give him more of this descent to play. There are more levels that he's unlocking in this performance that I'm just like super impressed by, man. So yeah,
the last 2 words of the episode this week killed me.
Yeah. I watched Clipped finally. I thought that was actually not as bad as people were saying. The ending was a little kind of shoved together,
Right. It was wrapped up quickly.
Yes, but everything leading up to the ending, I thought was a lot of fun. I didn't care about they cast this guy who doesn't look like. If they can act, that's all I fucking care about. I can do the jump to believe that's Chris Paul or DeAndre Jordan,
Yeah, casting was not great, but Ed O'Neill was great. And who was great was Jackie Weaver.
Yeah, Jackie was fantastic.
Yeah, she was really good.
And so was the actress who plays Frasier's agent, who played her friend. She was great on the show as well. And the woman who played V, I thought she was great. I didn't know she was an Australian actress, for God's sake.
Cleopatra Coleman is so gorgeous.
Another beautiful one for sure, but still certainly very talented. So
talented too, but I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Her and Anne Hathaway, please take me away.
And then I saw season 1 of Lioness. We finished that 2 days ago. If you guys haven't seen Lioness, you need to fucking watch Lioness. That is a goddamn good show. I don't buy Kelly Riley in Yellowstone. I don't think she's tough at all. Doesn't intimidate me a damn bit. Zoe Saldana yelling at me? Yes, 100% intimidates the hell out of me. Nicole Kidman looking at me with that face of hers intimidates the hell out of me. So I highly recommend that show if you guys want to watch that show. It's a good one. If you're looking for a new show to watch, I guess. And if you're not watching the new one on the Kundalini Yoga, that series on Max, that is a damn good series exploring the cultness of that Guru Jagat from Kundalini Yoga. It's a good one on Max. You guys should watch that one. All right. Let's move on. You want to move on to questions, or you want to talk Stranger Things? I guess Stranger Things 5. Anything about those titles stand out to you, Jeff? Anything about the episode titles make you look at anything here? Do you want me to read them to you?
No, I mean, I know what they are because I reported on them months ago.
Yes.
The other one, I think it was called The Bridge. And then what was the 8th one called? It was the
Right
Side Up. Right?
Yeah.
That was an interesting title. I wish I'd gotten that one, but yeah.
I mean, look, the crawl makes sense because we had she was running up the hill, so now she's probably crawling. The vanishing of could be connected to could be Nancy, I guess. The Turnbow Trap, I don't know too much about that one. Sorcerer, that was a film from the 80s, kind of a guilty pleasure film, so maybe that's a reference to that. Shock Jocks came about in the 80s with Don Imus and Stern, so it could be that. Camazotz is interesting because Camazotz is a planet or as a place in A Wrinkle in Time.
Give Susan the boot. She's gone.
Oh, okay. All right. Too far? Did she go too far?
Yeah, I don't need this talk.
All right, Susan.
Let's go.
You had a chance. You had your chance. Sorry.
We gave you a warning.
You had your chance. But Camazotz is also it comes from the Quiche word from Mayan mythology, a death bat. So how is a bat involved in this? So questions abound. But Right Side Up clearly feels like it's going to be a happy ending. Who dies? Who dies in the show at the end? Does anybody die?
No, I'm not going to say.
Okay. Oh, you might know. Okay. My big guess is that 11 dies. I feel like she has to die because she's not part of their world. She'll
sacrifice herself, right?
She has to. That's what I think. I feel like she'll sacrifice herself for everybody.
Mike sacrifice himself for her because he loves her.
Oh, that's true. That's possible as well. All right, let's get to the questions. Anything more we need to talk about? Are we good? All right, sounds like we should get to the questions. All right, let's get to the questions. We had a few of these here. Derek Johnson says, throwing some support in. Thank you, Derek. Very kind of you, brother, man. Always good to see you on the show, Derek. Thank you so much. Peter says, what do you think A24's plan with the 2 Safdie movies come out next year? Both seem like awards players, but the brother drama adds an interesting wrinkle. Jeff, I hadn't thought of this. 2 Safdie movies competing against each other. That could be interesting.
It'll be fine. Spoiler alert. Brothers fight all the time.
And
if they're smart, they kiss and make up.
There we go.
Yeah, I do think that the Safdies will have, gone their separate ways.
Yeah.
Proven that they could do it on their own. Right. And it's like, all right, let's come together and celebrate one another and what we each accomplish without the other. So,
I love you, man. I love you, man.
It's a great story. You watch.
I
Come
agree.
back next year.
Someone should do an A24 film about it. Lemmy Ward says, hi, boys. What do we need to do to get a second show a week?
Timothy Chalamet is Josh Bradford. Austin Butler is Benny Safdie.
It's perfect. By the way, $79 Aussie is $51 US before you give me shit about the currency again. Thank you, Lemmy.
Damn, Lemmy, thanks. Woo!
I don't know, Lemmy. It would have to be a lot of money. Like I think that was the issue that we battled about before. So to have a second show, it would have to make sense money wise. So maybe down the road, we'll see though. We'll see. But
I think we should do a nude show on OnlyFans.
I'm not going to do that.
I think Mrs. Outlaw would be okay with it.
I don't think she would be okay with it at all. Derek Johnson says some more support. Thank you, Derek. Sewer Dave says first reviews of Nosferatu are in. We discussed this. They're pretty glowing. What Oscar category could it be vying for? Probably Best Picture, don't you think? With Eggers behind it, Jeff. What do you think?
I think it's going to be vying for a bunch of them.
Yeah,
I think it could be up for Best Director. I think Best Picture it's going to get in.
Yeah.
I think Lily is making a play for Best Actress. I've heard she's great in it.
Okay.
I think production design. I think cinematography. Okay. Possibly the score. Possibly sound. Possibly visual effects. Possibly costumes.
Interesting.
Possibly makeup and hairstyling too. So that's like 9 possibles.
That's a lot. All right. Levin Schleiger says tomorrow is a Star Wars panel at D23. Anything to know about? Yeah, Jeff, you're legendary for breaking news before they're about to break it. Seems like Fleming kind of cornered that this time around. Do you have anything you can drop here?
Yeah, I think Fleming beat us to the big one.
Son of a gun. Do you think Daisy shows up? Do you think they?
I wouldn't be surprised if there was an official announcement about the 5/25/27 release date. That is sitting there, right? The 50th anniversary sitting there. So wouldn't shock me.
I wanted to take a day off, but I'll probably have to cover that tomorrow. All right. Derek Johnson says some more support, guys. Love the show. Thank you, Derek. Very kind of you to come in here, man. Very kind of you. Nerds Engaged says can't stay, but showing some long overdue support. Thank you guys for always being straight up instead of going with the crowd. Rare these days. Congratulations, Jeff, on the Stranger Things titles confirmation. Yeah. I'm sorry. I should have led with the story with that way. I apologize, Jeff.
All good. Thank you, Nerds Engaged. I appreciate it.
2 or 3 of your stories have been validated over the last couple of weeks. You must feel good. Goopy G says blaming Tom Cruise for the huge budget on Mission Impossible 8 is upsetting because he paid his crew for months in the lockdown. That shit is noble and is being lambasted. Is that true, Jeff, or are people removing that from the equation and coming up with that number and going after him for valid reasons?
I actually have something really important to say about this. You ready?
Oh boy. Yes.
Who gives a fuck? Do you care? Is it your money? Is the ticket going to cost you extra because Mission Impossible boasts an insane astronomical budget? It's one of the biggest, most expensive movies of all time. Shouldn't bother you at all. It's not your money.
There you go.
Are you an executive at Paramount? Are you in the fucking accounting business at Paramount? Are you a Paramount stockholder? Then maybe you can have something to say about it. But otherwise, I don't see why you care. Or anybody cares. Like if Paramount, like it says blaming Tom Cruise for the huge budget mission is upsetting because he paid his crew for months in lockdown. Did he pay for them out of pocket?
That's what he said. That's what the stories have been saying over the last few days. Is that Tom paid
out of pocket rather than the studio paying for it? Right, because he's the producer and he pays for overages. That's really what it means.
Yeah.
That's probably what this is all about. And you know what? He can afford it.
Yeah, he can afford it.
Sure. Exactly. So, it is noble and he shouldn't be lambasted. But as far as like budgets go, I just don't care. Like, why does anybody care?
Well, I think it's more a matter of connected to what does it mean down the road for other films if they're spending all this money on tentpole pictures, they won't have money for these smaller films that we could get to enjoy. I think that's where it comes from. But I hear what you're saying.
And you know what? And then the smaller films come out, and guess what? No one goes to see them.
Fair point.
Did you go see Saturday Night in theaters?
I did, but I went to a screen.
Goopy did. I can name a half dozen movies. Like,
Tristan says, will Doomsday and Secret Wars have executive producers like Favreau and Gunn was for Infinity War and Endgame? Someone like Shackman or Cretton because of Spider-Man 4? Yeah, maybe. I don't know that it matters, though. It's the Russos doing it. It's the Russos who are going to say one thing or another about it. So it'll just be your names on the screen, right? I can't imagine it'll be more than that.
I mean, the Russos have executives, right? Like Mike LaRocca and other guys. And I mean, have you ever known a movie that's not going to have executive producers? Like, if there's titles up for grabs, someone's going to take them. So
right. All right, let's keep going here. Blanker Kevin says, I think Boyega will be in the new trilogy if made. Fuck you. I already said that months ago. You don't get to take this. No. I have a steak dinner riding on this. I said that Boyega was coming back to Star Wars. Jeff denied it, said his sources told him I'm an idiot. Now I've got a steak dinner that's coming for me because I know Boyega. So Blanker and Cavis, get in line, brother. Get in line. I already said it months ago. Tristan said, also, will DS3 release on that November 2026 slot or later since Raimi is working? Oh, Doctor Strange 3. Will it release on that November 2026 slot or later since Raimi is working on his horror film? Could Blade move to that slot or is it still February of 2026? Man, don't put Blade anywhere.
None of these fucking release dates are going to hold. Yeah. This is all nonsense. It's gobbledygook. They announce it years in advance before they know anything, and then they,
don't plan on it, people.
Don't plan.
Ali Aloha. Oh, good to see you, Alia. It's been a while, Alia. Great to see you. She says, I'm a Star Trek fan. No, Star Wars fan, especially The Last Jedi. Yet I hope this Rey trilogy doesn't happen. Time to move on, Lucasfilm. The next trilogy should be 100 years after episode 9. Might be a fair comment to make, Jeff. Star Trek did that with Prodigy, where they jumped 1,000 years into the future, so they weren't beholden to canon of that time period. So 100 years would be a lot of fun. What do you think? You get old Rey then?
Yeah, I was going to say. My hand! Fuck!
Nice try, buddy. She says 100 years. Original chat worded out. There they go. Thank you. Those your peanut butter pretzels? You love your peanut butter pretzels, man.
I can't get enough of them. I was just planning that the whole time during that whole question. I'm sorry, Alia. Well, go back to the beginning.
She's just saying, don't you think it's time to move on? That the next trilogy should be 100 years after episode 9.
I think people like some comfort, like sense of familiarity, right?
Yeah,
it's comforting to them rather than just being like, "Oh, I'm not invested in this at all. These are all new characters and all new story. Like, I don't need to go see it." Right. But if there's someone that they saw and liked, it's let's just see how this plays out and let her be the guide, like into that other generation.
Right. What does this do? Interesting. Very weird. All right. King Sport Cal says, Jeff, you are legit in my eyes. There you go, Calvin, giving you some love.
Not James Gunn, though.
Yeah, right.
I didn't break that story, James Gunn. I'm just saying. I've heard the same thing, James Gunn. The same thing.
Dennis Hoffman says, Jeff, wasn't Kinberg part of the initial brain trust on Star Wars and he got tranked the Boba Fett movie? Seems like a good dude / producer, but I assumed he was on the outs with Lucasfilm. Hopeful, but odd choice.
Good point. I didn't see anybody bring up, including myself last night.
Yeah, the Boba Fett thing. I remember talking about that with Christian. Yeah.
I was involved a while back, but right? Like, I don't know. It beats me. I think he was. As far as being on the outs with Lucasfilm, I don't think that's necessarily how it works.
Yeah. And maybe Kinberg, if he was part of the initial brain trust, maybe Kinberg had this whole other storyline planned out for Rey that they didn't go with. And now that they want to bring her back and start a new trilogy here, maybe they trust now Kinberg's point of view on this, maybe his story.
Tell you what, they need to go back to his Damon Lindelof's script.
Sure.
Everyone who read the first 10 pages of that script said it was amazing.
10 pages, though. Spreezy Sports says, hey, guys, any idea if the live-action Zelda has started casting yet? Thanks so much. Love from Melbourne. Jeff.
It's going to be that ugly guy from Wicked.
What? Oh, my God. That's terrible.
Yeah, well, Ariana Grande is still with that guy, right?
I think so, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Nude show fund. There we go. Thank you, damn it, Turtle. That's nowhere near enough.
I don't know who's going to be in.
Okay. Max Law says, did you see how red the voting app was in California? Does this impact the entertainment industry? That's a good question. I mean, yeah, but the voting map has always been red in California. People have this delusion that Hollywood is liberal, and so therefore all of California. There's a lot of red areas of California. It's a 9-hour state, 9 to 12-hour state to drive through, and there's a lot of farmland. There's a lot of rural areas, so it's not really a surprise. And once you get out of LA, there's a lot of cities with
you see
more
the videos that were supposedly from Beverly Hills High.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think there's a lot of rich people who are looking to protect their wealth.
Yes.
And vote Republican, whether they, they can say whatever they want. They can spend volunteer hours for Harris. They can go door to door. But at the end of the day, when they're in that ballot room, right?
Yeah.
No, it's between them and God, honey.
Yeah, 100%.
Put more money in their pocket to vote Republican. That's exactly what they fucking do. Now, I don't have any money to hold on to, so it doesn't matter to me.
Well, it's funny how,
I need to keep abortion legal.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, but I think the impact, and Zaslav even said this today, I think, in a recent interview. He said it's going to allow them to combine, Trump's going to be more favorable to this kind of stuff. So for him, because of course Zaslav is a lifelong Republican and loves Trump for his own reasons. The idea of mixing these, it's going to be a lot easier to combine companies, which will make it easier for them to have more cash flow, acquire more content, and what have you. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But there's going to be a lot of other stuff accompanying that for sure. And listen, don't forget. 20 million Democrats didn't vote. So it's not like the country all of a sudden became something else. If you didn't inspire
vote, millions and millions of people.
Yeah, I'm saying you didn't inspire 20 million people who had voted last time to vote this time. And so that's where the difference lies. So clearly we've got to do some analysis to find maybe a better candidate or a better situation. Max, has Sneider
care anymore? Do you think people care? Do you think people care like who the president is? Like, I can't recall looking back on my 40 years. I guess that means I've had 10 presidents, right? I can't be like, remember when so and so was president? That's when life was glorious. I don't think it matters that much. But
I think, tell that to the guys walking around with flags, driving around attached to their trucks. It clearly matters to them. I think for most normal people who are level-headed and not out there, the presidency, you're just looking for someone who is rational and can do what's best for the country. And I think that's where.
And I don't think that was necessarily.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Election, but it's like, what are you supposed to do, right? Like deny the election or say, not my president, right? The only thing that you can do as an American is say, you know what? It was fair and square. I want to live in this country. I have an equal vote, same as people in rural, middle America.
Right.
And Trump is president now. Okay, if you don't like it, move to fucking Canada.
Well, right. And that's all we wanted in 2020 was for MAGA and all the Trump supporters to shut up and just say, hey, this is right. He won fair and square. We just got to live with it. But they wouldn't for 4 years. So I don't expect us to be quiet for 4 years. So you reap what you sow in life. All right, let's hit to this. Let's hit some Streamlabs here. Benoit Blanc 007 says, John, you should watch The Bike Riders. I think you'll get more out of it than Jeff did. Their romantic and mournful look.
This fucking jacket from it.
At that period of time. Good vibes, photography, and soundtrack. Favorite ending of a movie this year for me, quietly career best work from Tom Hardy. Look, Benoit, I have The Lady Outlaw gone until next Thursday. So I have multiple days to fill with stuff that I can watch where I'd normally be watching what we decide to watch. So I will absolutely put that on my list. I have to watch Severance. I have to watch The Offer, the Godfather one, and I will add this to my list.
You watch Severance? I have to watch The Offer. That's 20 hours of television right there.
That's a Saturday and a Sunday. It's good for me.
Dude, you're insane. The Bike Riders is Jeff Nichols' worst movie of his career.
There you go. All right. Dan says, ha, 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 HSHS, Trump won. Jeff was so confident Trump would be out of the picture by now. Morons. By the way, Rocha, this is Dan, the guy who made you refund my super chats because you're an idiot. Here's $1 for some tissues. These are the people that won. These are the people that want
Right, exactly.
this
Dude,
is the kind of
this is probably the same guy who jumped into my DMs on Instagram.
yeah. These are the kind of morally corrupt, ethically corrupt people who won. This is their example. A guy just like this who says this kind of stuff, a bitter, frustrated guy who a woman probably won't touch, whose parents probably disowned him because he's such an abhorrent human being. He takes the time to come in, drops $1 because his ego wants me to read this, and he thinks I'm not going to. He thinks I'm going to ignore it, but I'm not afraid to do these kinds of things. So to me, it's hilarious. I feel pity for this guy. I actually feel sorry for him. I have a wonderful girlfriend. I have great
John. Trump has his back, John.
Yeah, Trump has Trump.
Donald Trump. Totally. Praise Donald Trump.
Please, Trump would have sexually assaulted him if he wanted to. This is the thing, is the difference here, man. I got a great girlfriend, got a bunch of great friends. I have a good life. This guy clearly doesn't, and I feel bad for him.
Looking out for this guy.
Yeah,
he's got this guy's back. So
totally,
that's more than anything I've got.
I guess. Mick Foley says, "Do you have any updates on the Smashing Machine trailer? Anything going? Yeah. Do we have? Is it close? I don't think it's close to
actually right here on my phone." Oh, not quite, not yet. Only for paid subscribers of the Insnider.
Oh, interesting. All right, nice. I like that. All right, let's move on. What Real Entertainment? What's up? What Real? He says, "Yo, Rocha. Just wanted to say I meant no ill will earlier. And I don't know why that guy took it that way. Was just trying to have some film discussion with another person who enjoyed the film. As always, love was yeah. And that's why I responded to you in that way, brother. I said, you can try to explain it if you want. I'm pretty clear about how I feel about it, but you don't need to. But if you feel like it, go ahead. So yeah. I put that guy in his place. Javier said, big fan from Spain. Hola, Javier. Mucho gusto. He said, I was wondering if I should be worried about the Michael Jackson biopic being delayed. I think we answered that, Jeff. Reshoots or Oscar consideration. I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. We had no trailer yet. We had the Minecraft trailer, which was the same opening weekend. Your thoughts? So I hope we answered that, Jeff. Anything more to add?
You should be worried. It could affect everything. It could affect your job, your family, your entire life.
There you go. Hot security guard says, but Javier, thank you so much for chiming in from Spain, and thank you for the kind donation. You should be excited,
dude. This movie's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
You guys want to see a little taste of it? You guys want a little fucking moonwalk? A moonwalk in action?
You would break your legs if you tried to moonwalk. Stop it. Hot security guard said, hey guys, hoping one of you Hey guys, hoping one of you would remember this. With the Star Wars news out, I remembered when Rian Johnson was announced to write and direct Episode 8, he would also write a treatment for 9 to also possibly direct as part of the deal. I've searched online to try and find an article or press release about that back from maybe 2015 or 2016, but I can't find anything. But I swear I remember reading that when Rian Johnson was announced for 8 and possibly 9. Am I going crazy and made that up? No, I don't think so. I think I remember that they were looking at him to do 8 and possibly 9, that if 8 went well, 9 was a possibility. And when 8 was not that well received, they brought JJ back and then handed him a trilogy instead, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. So I don't know why there's not a press release. I don't know if there was one, actually.
They don't issue press releases for everything. So that 5 years later, they can be like, well, we never actually officially confirmed that.
Delete.
So it never actually existed, wasn't happening, never. I mean, that's basically all the movie studios are Trump, basically.
No one said that. Lies.
Studio idea with never happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
Alternative facts.
Men in Black has never made a profit, even though it's grossed billions of dollars. Harry Potter's still bleeding in the red. This is literally what they say.
Tommy Hanks made no money off Forrest Gump. There's no money to give him. Tom, I don't know what you're talking about. We're still in red.
I mean, oh my God.
All right. The Flickin' Critic said, both of you all sound maybe thumbs up overall on Gladiator 2. No, I would say thumbs up. Just don't go in and think you're going to see Gladiator. But can you confirm it's better, more entertaining, and audience-friendly than Napoleon? Fuck yes. Or do you think this will get a similar reaction? Right? Yeah, it's better than both of us think it's better than Napoleon for sure. Yes. Yeah. I think it'll have good audience rating. I mean, the audience I went with was going along with the story. It was a mixture of critics and regular audience members, and they were reacting to the big twists and turns. I saw those coming a mile away, but some of the audience didn't, and they were like, "Oh!" So, maybe it works for certain people in a good way.
I don't know. I think a lot of people out there are going to be going.
I don't serve at the pleasure of Rome. Fantastic says, "Hey, Hot Mike, I loved the abundance of Star Wars news. It's like make up for all the times Jeff was asked about Star Wars and he had nothing. I'm going to see a sneak peek of Red One. God, why? Because I hope it's so bad that it's good. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't do this to yourself.
It's a DEFCON 4 for Santa Claus. Paging the elves."
Someone texted me and said, "Wait, why are there snowmen in the Caribbean?" And I was like, "This is the joke. This is the level of joke we're playing with in this movie." Gibbs said, "Hello, is this even working?" I don't know who Gibbs is, but thank you, Gibbs. And Mike Joy says, "Got to give some support to you guys for the skin, especially the Scoop King, Jeff Sneider."
Scoop King. It's going to be 5 Joker series. One will be on CBS, ABC, NBC.
Multiverse Jokers.
Every channel. A complete takeover. Global media takeover by Barry Kogan Joker.
Fucking Multiverse Jokers.
CNN. He'll be on Gail King tonight.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Okay. Stop yourself. You're gonna go too far. Stop.
How many other questions do we have?
No, that's it. We're done. That's it. That's everything.
God.
I know we gotta go. Here's Still Bill says, "Here's $1 to say F that guy." I agree. F that dude. But feel bad for him too, because it's a terrible life.
Guys, animation is not just for children. I just want to be clear about that. Animation is for people of all ages.
Yes,
In meetings when they're talking about Ice Age 6. They're not making it for the kids out there. They're making it for the 40 and 50-year-old men who grew up on Ice Age.
Yeah, totally. All right, 2 last ones. Aiden Norris, any Superman update? Will we get a first teaser at CCXP maybe? Do you think? No, I don't think so.
Oh, what an interesting idea. I've heard that the first Superman trailer will debut in December. When is CCXP?
I don't know. When is CCXP? Thursday, yes, December 5th through December 8th. Yeah.
Maybe it'll be then. Maybe it'll be attached to a movie called Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Or Harima. Maybe you'll see it on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
During NBA basketball.
Ooh.
I don't know.
That's a possibility. I just got a link for Roe here. I'll watch that this weekend too. Hey, Soul says, because of the election, it looks like there's a lot of speculation that more mergers and consolidation will occur. Do you guys agree with that take? Yeah, it seems like that's what Zazov is saying, but they still got to jump through all the legal hoops, Jeff, right? It's not going to be like, hey, you get consolidation and you get a consolidation. It's going to take time.
Well, even if the political setting is that, yes, it's right for consolidation, these people still have to want to consolidate.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's not just like, okay, yeah, it's open season now, but like at the end of the day, Sony's still got to want to sell itself to Apple or to, someplace else.
Yeah. And the other part of this is, Don's, Trump's a mob boss, so he's going to want to dip his beak. He's going to want his cut. You got to give him his cut across the table, for God's sake.
I know I'm for sale, for sure. Make me an offer. I'll do anything.
Yeah. Who is he? Who are you talking to still, Bill? Fanimator has autism. You make fun of me. I'll take it because it's funny. Oh, I don't know what that means.
Oh, I don't care if Fanimator has autism. That doesn't.
Oh, don't say that.
It doesn't give Fanimator the right to stalk me across multiple podcasts and basically hurl the exact same sentence over and over and over and over. And I can keep saying over for another 5 fucking minutes. I don't care if he's autistic. Sorry.
All right. Fair point. Oh yeah, that's something to think about if you want to do that, Fanimator. So think about it. If you want to stop doing that,
another way, animation fanatic. It's the same fucking person.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Well, there's 530 of you. We had almost 600 of you hanging out for a majority of the show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button, leave your comments about everything we talked about here on the channel as well, the different stories and your answers to some of these questions as well. We would appreciate it. Jeff, another great show. Please let people know where they can subscribe to your newsletter.
TheInsnyder.com.
There you go.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And Animation Fanatic 101E. I will ask John to unblock you as long as you agree here and now in this chat.
Oh, right.
To stop commenting on every fucking podcast I host about animation. Your comments are noted from here on out. Do you understand? Would you like to be unblocked? I'm very sorry. Please unblock my actual account, Fanimator.
If you can say I'm very sorry, that means you're cognizant of what you're doing. And if you're cognizant of what you're doing and he's asking you to stop, you need to agree to stop.
Understood, Animation. You're watching the show right now. I'm waiting for a fucking response. Okay, we can wrap up. But yeah, maybe unblock the one that you blocked.
Fine. I don't know where I don't unblock him, so we'll have to figure that out next time. All right. Thank you all so much. What did I say? I said everything. Just follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. And thanks, everybody. I came into this show not feeling so fucking hot. After the show, I feel much better. So thank you, thanks everybody. So
you look fucking just so sexy.
Cut it out. Not with this weight. Much love. Have a good weekend, everybody. Peace. Okay.